Hey guys, welcome to the Game of Thrones episode recap for episode 9, season 2. This was an awesome episode. We're gonna do a rundown of some of the most amazing scenes. Definitely gonna be spoilers here, so if you haven't seen the episode, don't watch this. First, we saw Maester Pycelle, the old man who's part of the Lannister Council. He gave a potion to Cersei that in 1 drop calms your nerves, 3 drops knocks you out, 10 drops probably kills you. She gets really mad at him as he continues to talk, takes it from him, and then kicks him out. The hint here was that she might use this to commit suicide later, which she almost does and tries to do it to the young Baratheon, Tommen Baratheon, when Stannis' army is fighting right outside the castle. While Stannis' ships are approaching, the bells ring. Joffrey sees Sansa and tells her to kiss his sword, which he calls the Heart Eater, and he makes her kiss it. He even tells her she'll lick her own brother's blood off this sword, who is Robb Stark. He's so vicious, even though he's so weak, he's so cruel. But it's just like pooping on someone's candy and then telling them to lick it. I don't know how Sansa holds herself against Joffrey. He acts so cocky, probably because he's just so young, but later on gets scared to death when Stannis approaches the castle even after the wildfire. We'll get to the wildfire too. He retreats back to his mom and leaves Tyrion in power. Let's talk about the wildfire for a sec. So that's what they've been doing all these months. Remember in the dungeon, we found a few episodes back that they've been preparing this wildfire. Tyrion stumbled on it. I don't know who came up with the wildfire idea, if it was Cersei or Joffrey. It's not fully clear in the episode. But Tyrion does one of the most amazing things. Almost gets rid of Stannis' entire army with a single arrow of fire. That shows you that the mind and strategy can be muscular brawn. So when Stannis' ships were approaching King's Landing and they were getting really close, no one knew, except Tyrion, why there was one ship in front of King's Landing in defense. Joffrey was wondering, and even Stannis' army was like, what ship is that? But it turns out that that ship was set up by Tyrion, which contained all the wildfire and was pouring it all over the ocean around all of Stannis' ships. And as the ship got closer to Stannis' ships, of course Davos, who was Stannis' man, didn't know what to do. He had his men draw their arrows, but didn't ask them to shoot because there was no one there. Until you saw the green stuff pouring all down the ocean, then it was just like pure excitement as you saw Tyrion tell Bronn to launch that single arrow of fire. Once Davos saw that arrow coming to him, he knew what was going on. And one of the best explosions, I mean, come on, green explosion, it's amazing. One of the best disastrous moments I've ever seen. And then you see the green fire just explode and all of Stannis' ships nearly destroyed. But then what really amazes me is when Stannis, even after his army almost gets completely destroyed, he still marches forward. I mean, Stannis is just a serious man. Even Tyrion says it himself. I mean, balls of steel. He still goes on. Even by himself, he climbs the ladder, gets into the castle, and eventually fights. But this shows you that strategy and the mind can defeat pure muscle power, but not necessarily passion and will. As you see, Stannis had a lot of will and he continued on and shocked everyone. Even Joffrey was like, oh shit, wait, what's going on here? But what pisses me off about Joffrey is that, what do you think was gonna happen? I mean, he comes off with his sword called the Heart Eater and has Sansa kiss it, and then because all of the men weren't annihilated by the wildfire, he's like, oh my god, Stannis is actually really coming? Yeah, of course, shithead. What do you think? It's like when you're on a speeding high and you're just speeding and you're just like, ah shit, wait, the cops are actually gonna come and get me? Wee. Of course the cops are gonna come and get you. Just in that pure excitement, you don't look at the consequence. But it's amazing how we see people completely change when shit hits the fan. This battle made the person who loved killing Sandor, the guard of Joffrey, throughout the whole season was talking about how he loved killing and killing was so sweet. Eventually fled, didn't give a shit about the king. I mean, I don't even want to call him a coward, but in a way he just couldn't take it anymore. He was even saved by the very man who he called weak right before the war started. Bronn saved Sandor's life. There was a burning man charging right at Sandor. Bronn shot an arrow right to his head. Because you use so many strategies to kind of get your advantage. And then Joffrey, who was also cocky about doing all this crap, eventually ran back home to his mommy, of course, and didn't want to fight the war. And then Tyrion, of all people, who everyone considered to be the weakest person physically, ends up to be the leader and the braveheart of the entire war. And he gives an amazing speech. It's really touching, and he has the people feel that they're fighting for themselves and for their own families. And as we found out by Varys, he showed a map to Tyrion before the war started and showed him that there were 50 underground caves and hiding spots underneath King's Landing, and thinking that they might flee. And Tyrion said he'll never escape, but he did use it wisely here, which is he used it to kind of, as Stannis' men were charging in from the front entrance, Tyrion took his soldiers outside to the front and came from behind Stannis' army and attacked them there. And it worked. And then until Tyrion fainted. I mean, I don't think Tyrion died here. I think he just kind of got knocked out and fainted when he saw a whole bunch of men coming. Then a huge shocker, Sansa ends up in the same room as Sandor, Joffrey's guard, who fled the war. Sandor is promising to take her back to the north and bring her back to Robb Stark. I mean, he just kind of loses it as he's drinking all the wine. I mean, at first we don't know whether whether Sansa should trust him. Those who haven't read the book, do you think she should trust him? I don't know. He's kind of weird. My prediction is that she might go with him, or she might get caught before she goes with him by Cersei. Of course, Game of Thrones always throws a big shock, and while Tyrion is fainting and the guard Sandor is promising to run away with Sansa, Cersei is just about to give her youngest son the poison until Tywin walks in declaring they won the war. This was another heartfelt, amazing episode of Game of Thrones. Definitely the best of the season, no doubt about that. I mean, I do think they've been kind of, they could have gave us more previously, but this was an awesome episode. I wish more episodes were like this. I mean, it's sad to see that we have one episode left. The season finale probably, I think, next week. I mean, it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait. It's season 3. I don't know if it's probably gonna come next year. So let's enjoy this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this recap. Subscribe for more awesome TV recaps, and go to my Facebook. In the description, you'll find our Guy5 Facebook page. Go ahead and like it over there, and I'll see you guys soon.